Breaking news out of Egypt. Let me get you up to speed what's going on right now. Of course, Mohammed Morsi has been arrested, as well as several of his cabinet members and all of the leaders, or a lot of the Muslim Brotherhood leaders, especially around Cairo. There is confusion because some of the world leaders do not want to accept the fact that Mohammed Morsi has been removed by 14 million of his own people. The army had no choice but remove him. 14 million people protesting in the streets. It's the largest protest in human history of any world leader. Now, the fierce king, the cruel Lord, went down, but his backers, like President Barack Obama, are furious that this has happened. Matter of fact, I did a video Wednesday that Obama is furious about it, and I explained to you why Mohammed Morsi was the fierce king and the cruel Lord, and the ties of the Muslim Brotherhood from Obama to Morsi. And that video I did, 69,000 views in less than 48 hours. It is definitely going viral because it is absolutely speaking truth, and it's biblically based. From the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, tells you what's going to happen. Now, let me tell you what's going on now. At 1:45 a.m., actually about 9 o'clock last night, tens of thousands, let me get this right. Last night, about 9 p.m. Eastern, at least one Egyptian army soldier has been killed when Islamist gunmen launched 4 coordinated attacks on the El Arish airport and 3 military checkpoints in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, according to state television reports. Then at 8:40 GMT, which would have been, let me just check my chart real quick because I want to make sure I know where I'm at. About 5 a.m. this morning, about 5 o'clock this morning, Egypt has closed its Rafah crossing on Egypt-Gaza border until further notice. Al Jazeera reporting earlier that Islamist militants carried out multiple attacks on security forces in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, including rocket fire near a police station in Rafah, which killed 1 soldier and wounded 2 others. Now, about 11:15 GMT, which would have been about 8 o'clock this morning, not long ago, Egypt's army announced a state of emergency in the South Sinai Suez Canal after an airport in El Arish was attacked by armed Islamist gunmen. The assailants opened fire this morning on 3 military checkpoints outside the airport, aiming the rocket-propelled grenades at the highly secure areas. The airport has been closed to the border with the Gaza Strip and Israel. Local newspaper Al Haram reported that the state of readiness had been elevated to its highest level in the province. The attack marked the latest in a series of security problems in the region. 2 days after the overthrow of Islamist President Mohammed Morsi, it remains unclear whether the two were related. Of course they're related. There is going to be small pockets of resistance of a remnant left over from the Mohammed Morsi era. They're going to try to create some type of chaos to destabilize this new military coup that's taken Mohammed Morsi out of power and put Adlai Mansour in as interim president of Egypt. Now, not long ago, a few minutes ago, Egypt's temporary president Adlai Mansour has issued a decree appointing a constitutional advisor this morning and a political advisor. Judge Ali Al-Saleh is to take up the first role, and Judge Mustafa Hezgari the second position, according to reports. Also, about 15 minutes ago, Egypt has been suspended from the African Union, the AU, following the ousting of former President Mohammed Morsi, according to senior officials. As mandated by the relevant AU instruments, the African Union Peace and Security Council decides to suspend the participation of Egypt in the AU activities until restoration of the constitutional order. Secretary of Peace, Secretary of Council told Reuters following a meeting. And this just in, 5 minutes before I come on here, Egypt's army has stated that a state of emergency is not in place for either the Suez Canal or the South Sinai provinces. Contrary to earlier reports, however, the army in the Sinai is on high alert. Now you have to be concerned about that because it borders Israel. And what's happening is President Mohamed Morsi was removed from his office and detained, currently under house arrest by the Egyptian military. They've also arrested the leaders of the Muslim Brotherhood and other cabinet members of Morsi. They've put them all under house arrest. So today, though, is what's called the day of rejection. And so the remnant of Mohamed Morsi's followers are going to take to the streets right after Friday prayers, which should be all just about now, and start protesting against this coup and their new interim president, Adli Mansour. Now, let me tell you what the Bible says. Exactly what's happening was prophesied in the 19th chapter of the book of Isaiah by the prophet Isaiah. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth up a swift cloud, and shall come into the Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall move at his presence. And we saw that idol just about 10 days ago starting to spin over there in Manchester, England. One of the idols of the god of death, taking out of one of the pyramid tombs of one of the pharaohs of Egypt, starts spinning on its own, and security cameras caught it. Well, we also know that 8 idol gods were taken out of King Tut's museum during the protesting 2 years ago when they were trying to overthrow Jose Mubarak. 5 of those idols were recovered, but 3 were still missing. The Bible says, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. They shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. We have seen all of these things develop. And I will give over the hand of Egypt. I will give over to the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts. It's exactly what Mohamed Morsi was and is. He was their fierce king. He was their cruel Lord. He absolutely implemented Sharia law. He fired judges. He fired governors. He allowed Christians to be beheaded, churches to be burnt, Christians to be crucified. You name it, he did it. And he did it all with the backing of America's Obama administration. And this is why part of this confusion is beginning, because Obama's administration is furious at Chuck Hagel, who's the Secretary of Defense, and furious at Chief Joint Staff Admiral Dempsey for allowing Egypt to slip out of Obama's hands while Obama was on vacation in Africa. The Bible said that the rivers are going to start drying up, which they are. They're about 70% water reduction in the last 2 years. Also, they shall turn the rivers far away from Egypt. It's happening as the new Renaissance Dam is being built on the Nile River in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is going to take 80% of the Nile River from Egypt. This could create a major war. It tells you the economy. If you read Isaiah 19, verses 7 through 13, the economy is going to collapse. And that's what you're going to be seeing happening over the next period of months. Go to verse 14. The Lord has mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. That perverse spirit was brought on by the Muslim Brotherhood, and it has completely messed Egypt all up. And now the suffering from that decision from a year ago will continue. The question is, who else will team up against Egypt or back off in the next days to come? I'm Pastor Paul Begley. We're living in the last days. This is the apocalyptic hour. Please give your life to Jesus Christ. We're in the last days. Bible prophecy is being fulfilled. Be born again. Time is running out. Christ shall return.